All right, what is up, everyone? Here, this is episode 5, Papi's Kitchen. We got none other than Dummy to kick it off with us.
What's
Fuck's
going
going on,
on?
Dummy? Not
Nothing much,
fucking
man.
much.
You fuck up the
No,
Steve Robinson interview that
yeah,
you've been
man,
waiting for?
I'm fucking pissed, dude. I was so amped to have him on. Like he's my guy. I'm a big Steve guy. Had him on. Had like 5 people. We had me, LK, Adam the Jew, Pat and Lawrence, and Steve and myself. So, when you have 5 people in there, you need to have your internet working. I don't know what the fuck happened. I've had 4 other episodes where it all worked fine, but it pissed me off so much that I bought a completely new internet provider. So there's something on a new modem. But yeah, man,
Throwing
when
the
you you fucking when you're gonna be moderating an interview with 5 people going at it, you got to be able to be in charge. And I couldn't see, I couldn't hear. So we're gonna try to fucking take what we can out of it. I'm gonna take the next week and cut it up. It'll be next week's. We're definitely gonna get the good questions and content out of the interview and put it up there.
Send over
Um,
to DJK. He knows what to do.
oh, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, he'll fucking suck all the boring shit out of there and make it look interesting.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's like comparing. I don't know. I don't have a big problem with him. I think it's all kind of funny, but it's been fun to watch him and LK go at it. I can't complain. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, let it burn, baby. Burn, baby, burn, as Inspector J would say.
Let the fucking fire
What did
rage
you see?
on.
Did you see him last night? The DJK guy? Did you see him last night?
Yeah. I saw it last night. I
Dude,
thought. I mean, I'm an okay guy, obviously, but I like it. I think it's funny.
yeah, no, I just my 2 cents would be to get the little Eeyore character out of the screen down in the bottom left-hand corner.
What is
He's
up
got,
with that? Maybe it's like a crutch. Maybe he like feels like he needs it, but that guy's useless.
that's what I would think. Dead weight, dead weight.
Dead away.
Oh, whatever. That was my takeaway.
So speaking of dead weight, I don't think you were a big fan of my interview with Matt in Providence, were you?
Oh my god. That Eeyore character is nothing compared to that Matt from Providence interview. Yeah, no, that was super dead weight. I mean, he looked uninspired. I don't think he's super entertaining as is. But then there's no promotion. He doesn't give a shit about your show. He
No,
doesn't give a
I
shit
was I
about
was
you.
surprised that he didn't tweet anything out or respond to anything.
You know,
That
this is Matt from Providence to a T. I wasn't surprised. I would just say, like, if you're gonna come on and do something, do it. Don't half-ass it and then not tweet it out or not give a shit. That is who he is. He's as far as him and his character or whatever he does for this world, one would assume he would tweet it out and promote it, and having him on would be a bump to the Papi's Kitchen. Instead, it was just fucking 20 minutes of boredom. I felt bad for you with the fucking lack of promotion. So
what are you
Jimmy,
gonna do?
Jimmy in voice chat has been doing a very good impression of you trying to interview
Oh yeah,
Matt from
yeah.
Providence. So you'll have to have him on here one time to fucking.
Let's talk IPAs.
So like, how have you been doing during quarantine?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I'm a Jimmy guy. So
Yeah.
speaking of Discord and all that shit, how's your boy Red doing?
Ooh, Red. Oh my God. I mean, if he's gonna have a YouTube show, he needs to fucking back it up. He went on the KMS show and folded up like a losing Powerball ticket. It was unbelievable. I mean, he's supposed to be this big, jack, tough guy, and oh my God, did he just lie down? He was on the ground, lying down, begging for mercy right out of the gates. I've never seen anything so pathetic. I don't know if I can watch the rundown anymore. It was bad.
That's great. That's great. I'm a Red guy. I think Red's a good guy, but
I love Red. I'm just
I
saying
love it.
it's not that hard to back up what you say. Or don't say
No,
it to begin
no.
with. He jumped down Mayo's throat for a solid half hour. Fucking right out of the gates on the KMS show. It was, oh, geez. Oh, no. You got me all wrong, Kirky. Unbelievable. Terrible. And I like Red, but, positive, honest feedback, never hurt anyone.
Yeah, no, KMS Rundown's good. I like the fact that one of the concepts that I like is that he'll have like a different like cast every week, and he's not afraid to not be in it himself. Like he'll have like 3 people on there, some random 3 people, not including himself. That's a cool idea. Like that's something that we try to do is keep it fresh every week. But yeah, it's
Can't always find a new Sheldon from North Dakota to stick in, though.
No,
You know,
no.
extra
So
fresh.
speaking of which, what do you want to see, dummy? You know, you're on the show too.
Oh,
Give me
yeah.
some,
Well,
give me some
yeah, I
interesting
did have a
characters to bring in.
recommendation. I did
Who
have
do
a
you want to see?
recommendation. Because last week you asked me what I thought would be an interesting follow for the Minifans. My thought in that I've been kind of working away as a little pet project is there was that really interesting documentary, How to Fix a Drug Scandal, and it covered this massive lack of oversight from the state in there was essentially these two main lab workers, and they were doing the drugs, they were not testing the drugs to a massive scale. 61,000 convictions were thrown out because of their activities. And if you go back a year ago, I don't know if you were in the state of Mass then, there was essentially 7 years worth of DUI notifications from other states that didn't go out. So that means if someone had a DUI in Connecticut, but they operated out of Mass, their license should be suspended in Mass, but they were just literally sticking them in a box and forgetting about them for 7 years. And then on the other side, if you got arrested for a DUI in Massachusetts and say you lived in Connecticut, they were supposed to send that out to Connecticut for them to follow up on accordingly. They weren't doing it. They were just sticking it in a box. So the follow from that, of course, was I think 7 people died because eventually it caught up to them, and someone who shouldn't have had a license was driving a commercial truck. He was getting paid to drive.
I think that was some Russian kid that was on the I-93. I didn't see the show, but I think there was that Russian kid on I-93 who killed a bunch of bikers a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I think that was part of it too.
Yeah, he wasn't in the documentary. These are two separate scandals, but they are born from the same lack of oversight when you have a one-party state, and literally you're giving all the trust in the oversight of these municipality functions to like a group of, say, like 20 people in the state, and it really showed how that can happen in a one-party state like Massachusetts. It showed the Attorney General coming out, I think, less than a week after they arrested the lady in the Amherst area. She just came out and essentially said, nothing to see here, no worries, carry on. The Attorney General of Massachusetts literally got in front of the podium and pretty much told the general public to fuck off, there's nothing to see here. And of course, when things finally unfolded, we had 61,000 convictions tossed. But that's just how it goes around here. And my little pet project that I would like the Minifans to look at if they want to would be to just kind of go back through the Boston Globe archives and see how they covered it. Because, these things don't happen without a week.
You're big on the Globe promotion, dude.
I'm just saying I'm interested in going back. I'm interested in going back through the articles and seeing how they covered these things, because lack of oversight in municipalities can't happen unless there's a lack of media and press digging into it. So I'm just curious in real time how they reported on it. And
what's the name of the show? People can go watch it.
How to Kill a Drug Scandal.
How to Kill a Drug Scandal. All right.
So since you asked me last week what to look at if you're a Minifan, that would be my 2 cents on something to keep you busy if you're interested.
All right, maybe we'll try to reach out and see if one of these schmucks from the municipal government will come on the show. Who knows? Smugsy's been dying to come on the show. She was almost state senator. So
can we get her on Papi's Kitchen?
Oh, I don't want to get fucking banned by Kirk. I think if you have
who cares? But that's the other thing. I'm sick of all the fucking YouTube shows living in fear of Kirky. If Kirky's going to toss us, he's going to toss us. We got to go down swinging. We got to go down with Smugsy. Ooh, I got a thing for her.
Oh, she is, dude. I'll send you the link later. She has like an 8-minute video of ranting about how I was supposed to go on her podcast, but then I backed out. Yeah. But there's like an 8-minute video on fucking YouTube right now where she's just talking about how I'm a pussy because I won't go on her show.
You are a pussy.
I know. But I ran it by some of my boys on Twitter, and they're like, "Yeah, there's 2 people that are excommunicated.
Who? Name names.
It's RK and it's Smugsy. And if you do content with either of them, then Kirky's gonna give you the old Menors treatment. So
who cares? I'd rather go down in flames that way, because Kirk will forgive it and forget about it. Or you could go on and make her look like an idiot.
All right, featured guest next week will be Smugsy. We'll have her on the round table and interview. We'll have her.
Please, I'm on Smugsy's side here, big time. I think you're a puss. Who did you ask on Twitter?
Oh, I just got some of my brain trust buddies.
Who is that? Who is this idiots?
I don't know. I think
Was it Mayo? You know which way Mayo goes.
no,
Play
no,
puss.
Mayo, no, not really Mayo. I forget who it was, but the general consensus was like, yeah, you're kind of like, I don't know, playing with fire there. But well, that's what I want to do. I want to play with more fire. So,
I would say
all right,
this is
dummy,
all fun,
dummy,
and you.
I'll reach out to Steve. We'll ask Steve. We'll see what he thinks, or maybe we just won't. We'll just fucking shoot.
Was
from the
this
hip.
after Papi's Kitchen that she reached out, or was this just in general?
I think it was actually I think it was the day of the premiere of Papi's Kitchen. She wanted to do
Really?
it. Yeah.
Fuck. No wonder this thing didn't take off.
Dude,
Let's get Smugsy in here. Let's get her in.
She'll come back. She'll come. She's ready to go. She'll be ready at fucking minutes notice to come on the show. She get like even on her best shows, she gets like 45 views. Like it's
Who cares?
Smugsy.
Who cares? We got fucking Sheldon from North Dakota on. His 18 kids watch. That's the only thing he's bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Let's go.
True.
Let's get Smugsy in here. Stop being a pusswad. I'm down.
All right.
I'm down
No,
for
you
the Smugs.
sold me.
All right.
All right.
I
So
gotta go back to work.
All right, one second. Everyone else listening in, you got to see this to start the video. We're going to have some footage of CBM brewing. We're going to try to figure out a way to give away some of that beer to go to Minox family. Little fucking raffle giveaway, something like that. So watch the brewing footage, obviously some Pat and Lauren stuff. And then tune in next week. We should have all the stuff from the Steve interview cut up, ready to go. We'll have DJK help with the editing. And all right, dummy.
It's brew day. It's New England. Middle of May, 40 degrees on Mother's Day. Perfect day to make Mama Geary's Sticky Stout. Let's do it. All right, just getting started here. So just, some of the equipment, some of the process. This is the mash tun. What we're gonna do is we're gonna heating up some water over here. Get it to about 170 degrees. We're gonna mix it with our grain, which has been cracked. You can see flaked oats in there. You can see chocolate malt, Maris Otter. It's perfectly crushed, just cracked. It's gonna go right into the mash tun. It's gonna sit there for about an hour. That's gonna make our wort, it's called. And once we get the wort, we're gonna boil it with some hops. We got an ounce of CTZ, 2 ounces of Fuggles. That's gonna go in at different points. This is just our yeast over here. We'll be using much later. West Coast, it's good for high ABV beers. There's our chocolate we're gonna add. We're putting coffee in during the boil. It's not gonna be Death Wish during the boil, but in primary fermentation, I will add Death Wish coffee. I'm gonna do cold brew. And we just get some, regular stuff, a bucket. Cleaning stuff, I get the sanitizer inside. Yeah, it's gonna be a good brew day. We'll be back. So I got the grain in the mash tun. I got the water in there. Looking for about 154 degrees. I just checked, it was pretty close, but I want to show you guys. Thrilling, very thrilling footage. It smells fantastic. It smells like hot cereal. Yeah, see, so we're getting there. Right around 154 as soon as it gets up. We're gonna leave this for an hour, then we're gonna check in again. All right, so our initial mash is over. Now we're collecting our wort. Hey, Mariah. So I've collected the wort. I got it up to temp. We are just starting a rolling boil right now. I'm gonna get it a little higher than this in the next, 5 minutes. But we're gonna say this is the start of our 60-minute boil. So we're gonna throw our first hops in. We got a ½ ounce of CTZ, ½ ounce of Fuggles. You can kind of see the difference in the color there, a little darker green, a little lighter green. All right, sorry, I'm trying to get this in. Stir that around. We have hit all of our numbers so far. We're looking good. Cheers. 2 rules in brewing. Number 1, clean and sanitize everything. Number 2, do not have a beer until the boil is started. So our first beer of the day, Marshmallow Small Joys, Long Live, 13% stout. I have ruined too many beers by not waiting for the boil to drink. Look at that. Proper glassware. Ah, amazing. Cheers. All right, we're coming to the end of this boil. We got 5 minutes left. I added some hops in between, some yeast nutrient, but now 5 minutes left. 6 tablespoons of coffee and 4 ounces of 72% chocolate. We're getting there. Yeast is pitched. We're gonna hold at 70 degrees. Looking good right now. Updates when we can.
God, I just love watching fucking plasma. Now we'll talk about the coil. I mean, she's a little solid state guy. You'll see a few. We wound it probably with, I think my brother said 22,000 strands, rolls of 22, AWG for the secondary. I forget the primary. The toroid was a 8-inch diameter, 2-inch wide, custom made. It's really much controlled by this remote and RCA. Pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. We had to ground it out so we don't get zapped into ourselves. So my buddy gives me this guitar amp to look at for him a few weeks ago, and well, it's a tube amp obviously, and you can obviously tell it's shorting out and making a very, very bad problem for whoever's going to have to service this next. Glad it's not mine. Fuck that. I've noticed a lot of latency issues in other YouTube streamers, so I'm gonna show you how to make a Cat 6 cable. First thing you do is get your cable, you open it up. I go for the middle so you don't, cut your cable inadvertently. Then you cut out what you need. And then you cut the ends flush. Do it on the other side, obviously. Then you have to strip it. I didn't really have any good ones at this time, so I had to use those ones. Hood method. Then you pair them apart by the twisted pairs. There's 4, obviously. Then you untwist them. The next part's kind of important and is aligning the color code, which I will overlay to show you how to do a basic RJ45 crossover cable. Then you want to get them all flush, get as much tension and strain out of there, trim the leads for the next part, which is cutting open the bag of jacks, about 100 of them for like $10. It's a hell of a good deal. Make sure they're good, make sure those are nice and even after you straighten it out again, and before you crimp it you want to test fit it and make sure the terminals go all the way in to the wire, so when you do crimp it, it will meet, and there's enough insulation left on the boot portion to actually hold it. You insert it into your crimping tool, and you squish it once and twice. I usually do twice, and then you're good to go. All done. You make sure, test it out, and do the same thing on the other end.
Breaking news. This is sent from the Hotel in New Yorker. The body of Nikola Tesla was found there dead today. The plans for the death ray and his Mark Twain skull is still missing. If you know anything about that, please contact us.
I'm not gonna lie, after this many months at home dealing with this stuff, quarantine, I'm surprised this isn't how things get done. Every cut's actually a bullet. I'm fucking dead now. But no, they're not bullets, they're just pellets, the little 17s. Do this 3/8 an inch steel, legitimate ballistics plate. I mean, it barely fucked up the paper, but ruined the pellets. I couldn't feel a thing. All eBay, man, perfectly legal. Beautiful stuff. Do not do this at home, you idiot. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's just people not properly social distancing, continuing to spread the sickness. All of this talk about craft beer has, made me feel like I should show you guys some of my favorite bottles I've drank over the last 2.5 days to keep busy. For our 238th episode of Nuclear Toys with Nick, we're going to have show and tell. Today we have a selection of different size radium painted watch hands. Here we have a nice case, obviously. We lined them with lead, but just a core sample of Trinitite from Nevada, where they did the testing. But get your UV flashlight at home, which we all have, obviously. and shine it on your watch hands, and you will see the phosphorescence of the radium still glow. All of those girls who painted those died of some type of cancer. I can almost guarantee you that. This is a pickup I made on eBay a few months ago. It was really cheap, actually. It's just a very small piece of like yellow cake or some crap. I don't fucking know. And some shavings from a processing facility that handles like nuclear core reactors. This is our gamma spectroscopy box. It's all lead lined so it doesn't leak. We got this pretty well safe. Everything is legal and whatnot. You can get it all on eBay. We all know times are tough, getting exercise is difficult, so this week this episode is sponsored by exercising on your front porch like a crazy man in a crazy jacket, looking around, getting that breakout, getting that fresh air. You don't even have to wear your mask because you're on your own private property. My Wingly Dinglies from 2015. This was a terrible experience, as you'll see these things. This hurt like a bitch. I was carrying a tire in a junkyard and I slipped in the dirt and folded over. And, well, it folded over my wrist and I ripped the ligament, needed this stitching, had that pin put through there, which was no fun. That pin through there for 2 whole months in the winter. It was terrible. We're gonna take the next 15 seconds and take a few deep breaths, calm down, recuperate ourselves, and look at this beautiful imagery. I bet you're starting to feel better already. You're welcome. Thank you. Good night. Welcome back to the Crappy Corn Network. It is about as far as I got in like scripting and drafting before I realized I just kind of wanted to show off pictures of what this camera can do. 24 megapixels, man. And I like that one too. And people like coins. It's good stuff. I play the pots and the pans for you. You don't see anybody sitting on their desk screaming, playing pots and the pans for you with DJK in their name or anything like that. You don't see anybody doing anything fucking like this. Really, what is everybody else doing, really? Come on. So my buddy found himself in Egypt trying to be like Steve with a foreign exchange student in high school. And he gets me a memento, but it's a fucking lighter made in China. He bought in Egypt. It's like, come on, you should have brought me a rock. A couple days ago, the DEA and state used our local taxi cabs to break into this house and pull out millions of dollars, multiple guns, and a shitload of drugs. I said kilos. And then the next morning, a man wakes up here dead. Is that a conspiracy, guys? I don't think so. Yeah, this made parking fucking real easy. But, Riverfront State Park. Look at all these gloves. Wait, how did they get in the KFC box? Did they use the gloves for eating chicken? But as you can see, not a single glove or mask there. We do have these in Lawrence, just there's no bags for your dogs to take a shit in. They haven't fixed this fountain in like 10 years. Okay, that's a good story. Like when I was young, I watched like 4 guys run up, and they came out of an Escalade, and they pulled their shanks out, and they stabbed this dude in the chest, and they all ran back in their car like it was fucking nothing. Like nothing ever happened. And that was cool. They blocked off this park. It's an Avis block. It would be hard to pick. But how can I go down that slide? Come on, it's so tough. It looks so fun. I just want to go down the slides. I can't say about what happened in the old park, but I like that little shout out they did. Have some water. Hey, what's that? Oh, yeah, well, I found a turtle here once. People painted. It was bizarre. Dun, 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 dun. And behind me, we have a boys and girls club, actually. It opened in, I believe 2004, because I started high school the next day, and, well, kids drowned in the water. Here's an oil can, part mattress, and I found this camp. Beautiful embarkment. I would easily go to, Old Orchard Beach and, go camping at this place. I mean, it's got a security mirror, so you can see. I would ride my bike down that as a child. It was amazing. I never went on the Merrimack. But I'm pretty sure there was at least 1.5 people there, and they were shooting up because it sounded like a man and a sick dog lived there. But this park I would go to quite a bit. Nice little alcove to hang out, and you'd find some good stuff. You just have to know where you're looking for. Like here, I forgot I was filming here, so I'm just gonna kind of make it look like I was trying to film.